The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, everyone. Well, I'd like to welcome everyone back to another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight, have Vince helping out with any questions or concerns. Vince, are you with us? I can see he's with us. He's just self-muted, but and then, of course, to make sure I get all everything covered for you guys, Greg Payton to help out. Greg, you there?
No, I'm joining the silent majority as well.
Yeah. You're
standing in step with Vince.
Yeah. So I do see all the regular names in here, so I won't go through the boring introduction. But with that being said, what we'll be covering tonight is drill recognition. And with drill recognition is really kind of neat. Hop out of here. Is what we can do with drill recognition is pick up all of our holes and any diameters we can filter out by diameter size, by levels, by colors, all that stuff. But one thing you'll notice with the drill recognition, it does not matter on the levels. So they've, in the last couple of years, they've added in the drilling, you can do variable depth now, but for like a part like this, it's going to make it quite a bit easier, especially when we're going through and spot drilling all these different holes right here, to be able to go through and put a spot drill with a little bit of chamfer on there on multiple different levels as well. So if you guys kind of remember back to the drilling, and we can just pull it up here, and under the no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something else. I was thinking pocket. So normally what you guys would have to do is grab your upper level and lower level for each set of drilled holes. So if I was drilling holes on this surface right here, and I also had similar holes down on this surface down here, I would have to make a copy of that operation and change up my upper level and my lower level to accommodate the different levels that are going on there. Now, with the drill recognition, that does that all automatically. Plus, it also finds all the holes for you as well. So this part doesn't have a whole lot of, ooh, that was good, a whole lot of holes. Doesn't have a bunch of holes, but if we take this to the extreme, and if we had thousands of these holes all on multiple different levels, this is really where it's going to shine as well. So that being said, we'll get the ball rolling here. So first thing, what I'm going to do is, kind of like I said, I would like to spot drill all of these holes and put a little chamfer on there. So I have a almost like a deburr as well. So first thing you can do is you go ahead and click on New Geometry, and this is where all of your filters are at. So for this particular one, I want to grab every single one of my holes. So I can just click the Find Holes button, and it will find all of the holes that are specified in there. And like right now, I said, I'm not filtering anything out. I just want to grab every single hole there.
Now, Kevin, when you're selecting all these holes using the automatic feature, does it matter what kind of model that you're bringing in? I noticed that right here you have what's probably a SLD PRT.
Yep.
But would you be able to apply this to an import file, like a step file or an IGES file?
Yep, you absolutely definitely can do that, and it's all going to be based off of, and I can actually pull up another part and show you guys as a full imported part in there, so it will still recognize those holes at that point. Now, when we get further along into the hole wizard process, that will determine if we're working off a SLD PRT file using hole wizard, it's going to work just fine. But if we get into a dumb solid, it will not recognize those holes because there is the hole wizard was not created there. So great question. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and grab our spot drill now. And grab that guy. Now this is where it comes in real handy. And like the rest of our operations, we do have our holder collision. So if we're going deep down inside of a pocket and we're worried about our holder, we can turn that on as well. And the levels. So here is what's going to determine the levels for all of these drilled holes that are going on at once. So what I want to do here is I want to do my drill depth, and we kind of talked about this when we were doing the drilling for the chamfer. I'll put my drill depth at 0, and then what I want to do is pick the auto chamfer, and I will pick the auto chamfer for all of them and hit apply. So it's going to apply it to all of them for us. And I'll apply. Okay. So now we are throwing a auto chamfer on all these sets of holes right here. Okay. So now, basically at this point, I can just hit save and calculate. But if we want to take it one step further, we can pick our drill cycle, the pattern that we would like it to take while it's doing that. But let's just go ahead and see what we got here. So you can see that it automatically picked up all of our holes, all different levels of those holes. And if we go ahead and play this through here now, so we got our model there. And now you can see that I have a chamfer on all these holes. So if I kind of zoom in, we'll just pick one hole right here. And we'll do our execute. You'll see that we got a nice little chamfer on there and getting ready to drill that hole now. Okay. So now we have spot drilled all of our holes. And so like I said, this works great for coming through and chamfering something or trying to chamfer, you know, multiple different parts. So how this would work in the drilling operation if we did not have the drill recognition is I would have to create a spot drill operation for each one of these levels as well as each one of these diameters. So this really takes out a lot of, if we kind of count it up here, we'd have 1, 2, 3. We'd have probably about 12 operations to do a spot drill with a chamfer on all these different holes and the different diameters. So, because each diameter size and each level size would have to be a new operation. So, real nice feature in there. And if we wanted to do a special sorting way, like I said, we can come in here. Maybe we want to do an advanced sort, and we can do like a zigzag pattern, save and calculate. And now it's just kind of working its way back through the part that way as well. So, any questions on the chamfer at all? All right.
Now, Kevin, real quick, I noticed that, it looks like another Greg has a question as well. And it refers to how do you control the end diameter of that chamfer?
So in here, if we go to our levels, so the auto chamfer depth is set up. Boy, I'm trying to think where is that located at. And I want to say it is 5 thou per side, but drill that. It just tells me it's calculated automatically.
Was this a metric part, or are you using the imperial part?
Yep, imperial. So what we could do is, I can't even measure it. Oh, I got an idea. Let's do the beta simulator and see if we can measure it that way. Okay, so we come in here. Trying to find the where the tape measure is. Maybe they haven't come out with it yet. Well, we'll be able to see it when we actually run through the actual drill operation. I always thought it was 5 thou per side, but I definitely could be wrong. Let's just check one other place real quick here. If we go to our settings here, and trying to see where it would be at. Well, that's a great question. Maybe Greg can help dig that up while I keep going here. Greg, Greg Malloy, you definitely got me stumped there. All right, so we'll keep carrying on here, and maybe Greg can help us out there. And if not, we can definitely find out more about this. But now what I would like to show you guys is you can see these holes are color coordinated as well. So what you can do is filter out everything by color, by size, by upper level, lower level, all that. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to go off of, hit the color checkbox now, and I can come in here and define a color. So I'm going to tell it that I want to grab all the red ones, find holes, and as you can see, it found all of those holes that are that red color. Now you may say, well, what if my color isn't, I can't find my color in there? I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit here. So right now, we were able to grab just the red right out of the pigment chart here. And now I have everything set up. I'll go ahead and accept that. Now we go ahead and grab our tool. And that hole diameter is a 260, so 257, which is our tool number 4. So I'll go ahead and grab that. Now my levels, like I said before, everything should be all set to go. These holes do go all the way through, so the only thing that I'm going to want to change up on here is my edit depth, and I want it to go to full diameter. Now, in this particular case, if we go to full diameter, a lot of times we're going to get those little cups that get left on there. So what we can do here is just tell it to go another 10 thou past, and we can apply that. And like I said before, technology, we can go to our drill cycle and we'll do a G83. And let's do like a 100 thou peck. Now, the reason this gets asked a lot is, why do I put the step down in there as a 100 thou, and why do I put a 100 thou peck in there? Well, the only reason for the step down is so you guys can see it in a simulation. That is the only reason at all. So if I come in here, and let's just put this back at 0 real quick. We'll go ahead and simulate that. And let's do a solid verify here. Oh, that went a little fast. So you can see, I'm not showing every move. General, go to 1. So you can see it's not showing any sort of peck that is going on in there. But if I hop out of here and we go to G-code this out, you'll see that here's our Q peck right there. So like I said before, the only reason to put that step down in here is just for simulation purpose only. It has no effect on the G-code or anything like that, unless something has been done to your post-processor where it's going to be pulling from that. But now we go ahead and simulate this. Now we can see it pecking in there. And this is going to be exactly what you're seeing on the machine.
Well, also, Kevin, when it comes to that step down, if you're not using a CAN cycle, you're not going to get the Q value. So if you're drilling long form, you need to put in the step down to get all the moves.
Perfect. Now we got all of our holes in. Like I said, we can go through and resort these, and so maybe I want to start at the top and work our way down instead of going from the left to the right. And that's just simply going into your sorting. And maybe on this one, I just want to tell it to go the shortest distance. And it's going to try to find the shortest distance possible for us. Okay, so that is drilling based off of a pigment color. Now, let's go ahead and start another drilling operation. And grab new. And this light blue or green, depending on if you're colorblind or not, is a little bit tough to find in our color chart. So if I go to find, it's going to be kind of a little bit of a guessing game to see if it finds that pigment. Well, if I don't know, or if I just want to go right off the model, I can just say pick from model, and I want to grab this one, come down, click find holes, and it's going to find all the holes that are that exact color based off the model. So you guys have two different options there. You can pick from the table of colors right there, or you can pick it right off the model itself and get all your holes that are there. So for that one, go ahead and, that one is a H drill. Perfect. And that one does not go all the way through, so I'm just going to leave it as it is because it's all based off of how it's looking at that. So it knows that it's going to go right down to the depth. And like I said before, you can go into a G83, 0.1. There we go. And now, there we go. Now, getting it back to the auto chamfer, looks, boy, it must be a real small chamfer on there. Were you able to find anything, Greg?
Yeah, what I did was I did one up on my system and looked at the G-code output, and at the 0 chamfer depth, you're getting the diameter of the hole as the chamfer diameter.
Okay, and that's if you do the auto chamfer?
Yeah. So if you wanted to break that edge, you'd have to add to that chamfer.
Okay, so let's do that. So we'll go to levels, and
in your chamfer depth, put in like 10 thousandths and apply the all, or
gotcha,
whatever you want that edge break to be.
Oh, apply. I guess that makes sense. Now, if we come in here, something like this. There we go. Now we can see that chamfer on there. So if you guys are looking to do that auto chamfer, that function is there. It's going, like Greg said, or found out, that it is going to chamfer right up to the size of the diameter. If you would like to go a little bit more, like a 10 thou edge break, then you can just put that 10 thou in there. But one thing to remember in there, and I've caught myself doing this as well, on that edit depth or depth edit, make sure you hit the checkbox for all, because if you have multiple sets of holes, you know, usually if you have quite a few holes, this whole list is going to be filled up. And the only one, if you come in over here and put this in there, and only the group 1 is highlighted and you click apply, it's only going to do it to that specific group. Which, on the reverse side of things, maybe that's what you're looking for. Maybe on your first group of holes you want a 10 thou edge break. Maybe on the second group you'd like a 5 thou edge break. And maybe on group 3, which is like a tapped hole, you want like a 25 thou edge break. So you can sort them out that way as well. Perfect. Thanks for looking at that, Greg.
Yep, my pleasure.
All right. So now we have our, and what I should be doing here is come in here and naming these because I have already lost of what holes I'm doing here. So what we can do is, where's my rename? We can just say spot, and our first drill was, what to say, red. Come on. We can say red holes. And this one can be teal holes. So that definitely will help you guys out right there. So I guess next we'll go ahead and do these orange holes right here, which is like a 5/8 diameter. And yep, 5/8. So now we can come in here and do our drill recognition. Now, there is, if you just want to cherry pick and go through the holes that you would like and manually pick them, but still be able to take advantage of the multiple levels, you do have the option to come over here and stick it in manual mode. And for this particular one, I'm going to grab, I want that hole, I want this hole, this one, and this one. So I have 4 holes right there. Go ahead and grab our 5/8 drill. There we go. And that is a through hole. So I'm just going to go to my depth edit and tell it that I want to do full diameter with a delta of -10 thou. Apply. Okay. And this one, the 5/8, maybe a little bit less of a peck. And now we can go ahead and watch that play through. And we can see, oh, it didn't go all the way through my part. Let me see. Depth edit. Full diameter. That's okay. I just made that mistake. So remember how I came down here, I switched it to full diameter, and then I also told it to do a -10 thou. Well, what happened is I forgot to hit the apply button. So now that I did full diameter, go ahead and hit the apply button. And now we can play that through, and it should be going through all the way the part now. Yep. So now you can see we made it through all the way through the bottom of our part. Okay. So that is how to do a manual, and I'll come in here, rename, and we'll see orange. So now we have red done, teal done, orange done. Let's do our yellow ones. So we'll go ahead and go to drill recognition. And this one, let's filter out by the diameter. So I'm going to come over here, do by diameter. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to say from to find holes. So it's going to find all my yellow holes now. And that yellow is number 19. Okay. And that one is not all the way through, so we're good. I can skip over that. And now I can come over to my drill cycle type. Now, some of you guys may be noticing I'm not hitting the save and calculate button anymore. It's just a quick little shortcut key. You guys can go right to the simulation button. It will prompt you the first time you do it to ask you to do a calculate, and you can hit the little checkbox to don't show that message again. Now I know in 2021, there is going to be a lot of shortcut keys or hotkeys for all that stuff. But like I said, to save yourself just an extra mouse click, you guys can go right to the simulate button, and it will calculate it behind the scenes for you. All right, so we're going to do our yellow holes. There we go. And we should still see our automatic chamfer that's on there. So you can see that. You can see that we are right on size. So we are
Can
good.
you zoom back a little bit, Kevin? Maybe if we rolled back the operations up above the orange holes that you did, your 5/8 holes, and then take a look at the simulation, because I think in the spot drilling operation, the filtering it out by hole diameter would really come into play as well. I believe I saw a hole where the diameter of the hole was larger than the diameter of the tool, so you're getting a little bit of the shoulder coming out in the simulation.
Yep, so if we go right to, yep, I see what you're saying. So with this one right here with the 5/8.
Right. So if you knew that your chamfer tool was only a 1/2 inch in diameter, you can set that hole filter to go anywhere from 0 to, let's say, 490 if you wanted to cut it close.
Yep.
And that way it would avoid these 5/8 holes to avoid that full, well, I guess, deep engagement there.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, and if we want to filter that, well, go to that spot drill operation itself. And let's go to geometry, and I'm just going to grab new geometry. And we are going to go hole diameter from 0 to, like Greg said, 0.495. Find holes. So it's going to find all of them except for that diameter there, that 5/8. And we can come in here, put our drill depth at 0, and turn our auto chamfer on, and we want a 10th chamfer on all of that. And don't forget to hit apply and auto chamfer apply. Oops, 0, 1. Keep forgetting to hit that all button because I want to do it to all of them. Okay, so now we should be good. So now we hop out of here, save and calculate, and we're to simulate just this operation. We should see that it did not try to spot drill those the 5/8 hole. So if I come down to my orange simulation here, you can see that we are starting off with no edge break on there. But at that time, I could come back through and just throw a larger chamfer tool in there, or we could just go right to town with that large drill bit. So all kind of depends on what your tolerances are for the print. All right. So now we have orange. This is yellow. Can't think. There you go. Now, I went through and color coordinated all these holes, and this is very easy to do. If you guys have a part that looks something similar like to this, you guys, all you have to do is just come over to the hole, right click, and change the appearance of that hole, and you can pick out whatever colors that you're looking for. So you guys, it's very simple and easy to change those color appearances there, as well as there's one other way. Why can I not think of it right now? Where you can show the colors for each one of these also. So definitely you can come in here and change the colors of any one of these.
In the top of the tree, that arrow facing to the right, if you expand that out.
Oh, yep,
there you go.
There it is. So you can see all my F holes. So and it's kind of broken up a little bit here because I have two holes that were there, must have been from a previous one, and then added on top of those ones is another set of orange ones. So very simple to come through and color coordinate this stuff.
Yeah, it makes it real nice if you have different types of features. Like if you have a highly precision hole, you can color it differently as a highly visual way of recognizing that that particular feature may need to be reamed or have a specialized bore to it. Whereas other holes could be just your basic jobber drill. You can go through it and it's close enough.
Yep.
So yeah, it gives you a great visualization real quick to identify which feature is which.
Yep, absolutely. And it makes life easier in the end. And you guys can set that up with your, you know, maybe with your engineers, you can set it up where if they're making the models themselves, if it's a reamed hole, you know, go off a certain color. If it's a tapped hole, go off a certain color. You know, make life easier for everyone. But now the only one I see left is our green hole, which is a 5/16/18 tapped hole. So what I can do off that one is go ahead and do our drill recognition. New. And for this one, I am going to go based off of hole diameter, which is here. But if I click find holes, you'll notice that this tapped hole is the exact same size as my holes down here. So what I can do to accommodate that is remove all, and I want to limit by the upper level. So I want it to grab only everything that's on that level, and that's the same level going all the way across my part here. Now I can click find holes again, and you'll see that it's just grabbing those specific holes on that plane or that Z height for you guys. So another way to kind of filter everything. Mm-hmm.
You said the differentiator was that one type of hole was threaded and the other one was not?
Yep.
Why didn't you use the thread only checkbox in that filter?
Because for some reason it's not working in this one.
Gotcha.
And I can show you guys this, but I've turned this into development. But if we go up,
it needs a coming soon indicator next to it.
So if I just pull up that one and say find holes, it's not finding anything for me. And I don't know if it's because of the threads are not a visual thread at that point, and that's why it's not coming up. But for some reason, clicking on the thread only is not pulling up for me. So, all right, so we'll go back to upper level. It's right here, find holes. All right, so we got our tool, which is going to be the 257. There it is. And levels, that one does not go all the way through, so we're good. And do a G83.
Yeah, it looks like it's in the way that that particular feature is defined. I just tested it on my end with a feature that was done. Now, keep in mind this was done with the whole wizard process within SolidWorks to define it as a threaded hole.
Yeah, I don't know what the differentiator is.
We'll see that it is threaded on the model and parse it that way.
Yep. Okay. So we have that tapped hole. Now, since we're using that same drill for the red holes, I can click and just move this guy up to right where the red holes are, so it's not doing multiple tool changes throughout. So we can say on this one is here, do a rename, and we will say green drill. Now, what I can also do in here is make a copy of that and come in here and switch it out to my tab now. So it's going to be my 5/16/18. So we got our tap. And it's going to go with the tap, it's going to go to the the tip of the tap is going to go down to right here. So it's not going to bury that tap down in there. If we want to do a PEC tapping cycle or whatever your machine supports, definitely pick it right here. But now, let's save and calculate.
And for those guys that do want to keep their taps off that bottom, they can just go back into the depth edit.
Yep.
And use that utility to back off that toolpath comparatively to the drill.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's say green tap. And we'll go to depth edit. And we'll go to drill depth. I want to come down to here and right up to the tip. And maybe I want to put a positive 10 thou in there, so that just in case I get any compaction or anything like that. So now we know that that tap is staying away, and you can kind of see it right here with the lines. It's going to be staying away 10 thou from that tip. So now, if we kind of go through it and we kind of see with what we're doing here too. Now, if I wanted to get really fancy, I could come in here, and it's going to take me a second to find this. Don't do this every day. Where am I looking? Find the color. We could come in here, get real fancy, go red, and this one could be green. And you guys get the point there. So I can color coordinate it to my drill holes that way as well. So at least I can kind of come over and see a quick reference. Now, if you guys didn't want to label those how they are there, you can just, like I said, change the colors there and help you out too. So just a little bit of organization for everyone. And with that being said, let's go ahead and play everything through here. This is the pocket recognition. So doing our spot drill, doing our red holes. So there she is. Now, like I said before, we're taking all these holes, which would probably be, you know, quite a few operations over here, especially with the spot feature in there, and really simplifying it for you guys. And that's kind of what the whole point of the drill recognition is, to automatically find those holes for you. That way you guys don't have to go through and cherry pick or do multiple operations based off of different levels. So any questions from anyone? I don't have my questions panel out here.
I'm not seeing anything in the questions panel, but one other thing that it would probably be good to go over is this was kind of like the in-depth tutorial to everything drill recognition. Now, these operations, like any other operation within SolidCAM, can be templatized or made into a template. Absolutely. And you can drag and drop it to the model and do everything that you just seen here in, I mean, seconds.
Yeah, so great point. I didn't even think about that. So what we'll do, because this spot one is going to be one that you're going to be, I would probably be using a lot. So I'm going to label this as spot. Okay. So now I have that as a template. Now, if I want to kind of come over here, I'm just going to hide or suppress everything I've done so far. But now, if I come over to my drill recognition, I have my drill recognition spot. Click and drag to the face.
I think you highlighted a bunch of templates there.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, oops. And bam, I just spot drilled all of those to my specifications that I wanted in there. And like Greg said, look how simple and easy that was. So even, and this works out good for, let's go ahead and unsuppress our, so this is going to be create a template. And this is our 516, oops, 16-18. Click OK. So now, since I'm using multiple operations in that one, I'm using a drill and a tap that's already set up. Now that's going to be under my process templates. And once again, come over here. It's going to find them, and it's automatically going to insert them in there for us. So you guys can set this up for, if you, kind of like what Greg was talking about earlier, if you're doing reamed holes, you know, get that spot drill, ream, drag it onto the part. Doesn't matter what level it's at, it's automatically going to pick up those levels for you. So real nice feature, and really to save you guys a lot of programming time as well. Never even thought of that, Greg, so it's good to have you here. All right. Any questions from our customers or anything else, Greg, that you can think of?
No. We left Vince speechless, so that's our main goal.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody else seems to be pretty content with what they saw. At least I'm not seeing anything come through the questions panel. But in case people are watching this video on YouTube, you want to go over how they can get in touch with you again?
Yeah.
In case questions come up in the future.
Absolutely. If you guys do have questions on there, my email address is going to be in the description of the video. So just go ahead and look for my email address there. For everybody that is in the class right now, let's just put it in there. We'll just do chat, and there's some reason copy and paste it a couple times for you guys. But any questions that come up, definitely send those over to me via email, as well as if you guys do have subjects that you guys would like to see, definitely send those over to me email as well, and then we'll send you off some SolidCAM swag as a thank you for sending those ideas over. So with that being said, next week is going to be our last week just for a little bit. What am I looking for here? Webinars. So we are going to start on iMachining, and then we're just going to have a little bit of a break in October just because I'm doing some side farming for a friend. So it's a little tough to do in the tractor, but we'll get into the all the different parameters that are inside iMachining with the new feature recognition that is built into iMachining and how it works and how you guys can really simplify everything for you as well. So definitely come sign up for that one. And if I don't talk to you guys in the meantime, have a good one, and we will talk to you guys next Tuesday night. All right. See you guys.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.